Valerie, Bert, and Ernie?
Yeah.
Okay. Early
All
Family
right.
Guy joke. Peter
Okay.
Griffin. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes you gotta earn.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the one you want.
Give them
Even at your stage.
Yes,
'Cause you've
even at my
been
stage.
hugely
Even at my stage.
successful.
But you know, it's like with like anything, the passion projects aren't always like. Look, the Orville was a passion project. I say was, but I don't really mean was because there will be more.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Family Guy makes a bunch of money. Ted makes a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Love both those shows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a little bit of a balance. There are things that you give, and in return you get to make this. I mean, that was kind of how the Western worked in many ways.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Talking the Orville, right here on the internet, where we all congregate. Is that a word? Yeah, that's a word. What's going on, you guys? He said it. Seth MacFarlane said it on the Mike Henry podcast. The Mike Henry podcast. Mike Henry, of course, plays Lieutenant Dan on the Orville. If you thought you might have recognized his voice, you did recognize his voice. Seth MacFarlane said, when it comes to the Orville, there will be more. Is that official enough for you? Lots of people, most people say, yes, that's directly from Seth. Some people on the internet, they're like, oh, that's not official, blah, 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 that's not good enough, this and that. For me, it is good enough. This is Seth MacFarlane. He does not say things like there will be more Orville if he doesn't mean that there will be more Orville. And I'm not talking comics. I'm not talking merchandise, whatever. He's talking about the show. And everything he said in that interview, link is in the description below if you want to see the full interview. That part of the comment is about the 17-minute mark in the interview. But what he says is something I've heard for decades from high-level creatives in the industry, that sometimes you got to make something for the studio so that they allow you to make something for yourself. The passion projects. The Orville to him and to us is a passion project. So people are saying, oh no, Seth's moved on to other projects. Yes, all in service of the Orville. He's making the Ted series. He's making the Naked Gun series. I think he's got a couple other things he's juggling around so that he can give over to the big execs, the studios, what they want, so that they'll give him what he wants, which is Moreville. Hashtag Moreville. Forville. The Orville. What's going on, you guys? So glad to see you here. I did not plan on doing a live show today, especially at this time, because I'm supposed to be out driving around, but this time of day to drive around giving people rides to try to keep the lights on. Oh, I hope I keep the lights on. It's a little slow around this time of day. And I was like, instead of sitting here just getting a little piddly this and that, my brain wants to talk about the latest news that Seth MacFarlane officially announced that there will be more Orville. What's going on, you guys? What's up? Let me see if I get this. Pirate Pax. Pax wants more Ville. What's up, Don Klein 33? Hi, JP. This is Villain, they call me. I haven't heard that name in a long time. It's so good to hear that name again. I'm on my phone. That's why the name is different. Well, Villain, I see you're coming in from Twitch. Yes, we are multi-streaming right now. Not only are we on the YouTubes, we are also on Twitch at the same time. The channel's demonetized until June 23rd, so what the F? I'll do what I want to do. YouTube. Good to see you. Orville Nation. What is up, PJ? PJ, of course, is part of the upcoming, not tomorrow, Saturday, but next week, 7th of the month of April, which is what we're in right now, the Orville RPG game that was developed by Miniature Dragon Publishing that we will be playing next week. I am a Retepsian pilot named Jay Pulio, and PJ is going to be one of our players, as well as we have a few more other wonderful people joining us with their characters. Rick Rarick, what's going on? Joy, Don, Barry. There's so many more of you. Am I repeating names? Chris Gates. And a whole line of people up the top. I have to scroll up. Did I say Barry? DECKP20. Did I say that right? We figured this out in the last stream. Is it DEC? Let me know if I'm right. Eventually it'll stick. It'll get there because we have a lot of live streams to do, not only in 2024, but beyond, as we gather the Orvillians of the world right here to talk about our favorite show and other things as well, whatever may come up. What's up? Last call with Troy Pacelli or Pacelli. I want to say Pacelli, but I don't know these things. I don't know how things go. But this is wonderful news. What are you guys excited about? We're going to have a fourth season of the Orville. When are we going to have a fourth season of the Orville? I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I would assume, make an ass of myself, not you guys, just me, not you, but me, and say, I don't think it'll be anytime right away. I think these other productions that Seth has his fingers in have to either get going or be finished. And then it's time to start working on the Orville, rebuilding the sets, getting all the cast together. And a lot of people are saying, hey, Adrian Palicki is not going to be in it. We're not going to have Kelly Grayson. I don't believe that for a moment. She didn't literally say that she's not coming back. She just put the feelers out there, which I think she had a good reason to do that. She's frustrated. She loves working on the show, and she loves the show, and she loves the people of the show, and she's not getting work on the show right now. And, probably not a lot of work in a lot of places. There's a lot of actors out there getting little jobs. And if she gets another production, most shows are only 5 or 6 episodes nowadays. So if she goes film something else, plenty of time to come back and get an entire year minimum of acting work on the Orville to play a character that she loves and that we love seeing her play. Dom says, I don't think Ted season 2 has been officially announced, but obviously Peacock is going to renew the highest rated series. Absolutely. I think the Ted series, which is, if you haven't seen it, it's on Peacock in the United States, probably on other services in different parts of the world, but it's available all over the world in many different locations. Highest rated thing that Peacock has ever made. People are loving it. Even people who didn't think they were going to love it absolutely love it. I'm sure there'll be a Ted season 2, but Ted season 1 didn't take long to produce at all, so I wouldn't worry about that either. But Ted season 2 might have to take a back seat till after Seth is done with the Orville season 4. I mean, I would love it if they're able to start production this summer, but we will have to see. I can't have confidence that they'll start this summer, but hey, there's always exciting news coming out of the Orville camp. Not sooner than later, but sometimes sooner than we think. But there will not be a new season of the Orville in 2024. Maybe the tail end of 2025, but 2026 sounds more appropriate to me. But I could be totally wrong because they've only gotten better at making things more quickly on the set with the Orville, especially with the creation of the new technology that Seth MacFarlane and Fuzzy Door have come up with. I believe it's called Viewfinder, which really helps get the effects done much more quickly when it comes with filming anything, really. So I'm excited to see how the timetable works out, and I am excited to see what is. I'm assuming that the Orville will remain on Hulu as a Hulu original. Maybe it'll, just like last time, it'll be on Disney Plus after it's done running its course on Hulu. But, it's too early for me to tell. And things in the industry are always changing, especially in the streaming world, because streaming, like I've said many times on this show, the streaming world is in trouble because there's too many streaming services, too much original content, and not enough people to watch all of that content and pay for all these services. So we'll see what happens. It's a very trepidatious situation, but we are getting more Orville. There's no doubt about that. If Seth said it, it shall be. Seth isn't the type of person just to throw out comments like this. He knows better. He's a very smart guy, and he cares. DEC says Seth MacFarlane is a legend. More of the Orville and Ted. Yes, Ted brings us more Orville. Naked Gun reboot brings us more Orville. There's one or two other things I believe he was working on. I don't know how in depth. He might just be a producer of something or a part writer of something. I don't know how much of his time that will take. So happy that we have the Twitter, the Twitchverse, and the YouTubeverse together on live streams. Of course, I'm sure the people that on YouTube cannot see the comments from the Twitch people and vice versa, but I can see everybody's comments. So Derper, let's put you up on the screen for over on Twitch. Booyah! More Orville, absolutely. Derper also says, yeah, I wish I could get Hulu here in Canada. Yeah, in Canada, it'll either be on Disney Plus like it was the previous season, or there might be the first two seasons of the Orville were available in Canada on other services. I can't remember the names of the services that it was on, but something with sci-fi, something TV, something, I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure it out right now, but you guys will know. Someone out there will know. Michael Mitchell says, so say we all. Absolutely. A little Battlestar Galactica reference there. That's a Battlestar Galactica reference that can actually be used for almost any situation where you strongly agree with something. Michael Mitchell, Seth making a Naked Gun reboot? Would it be as funny as the original? Well, Seth MacFarlane is doing it, and he's already cast Liam Neeson to play Frank Drebin Jr. I think I said the name right. Leslie Nielsen's character. This will be his son, Jr., taking over the role. And I can't think of a better person to do it than Liam Neeson. Yes, a lot of people don't know Liam Neeson's a funny guy, but it's very dry, just like Leslie Nielsen had. I don't know anybody else that can get to play that role besides Liam Neeson. Got to get the Neesons up there. Here we go. Sentai Ranger says the first two seasons used to air on City TV. There you go. Well, we'll see if they get season 4. Maybe it'll be exactly like last time, where it's on Hulu and then it drops on Disney. I love it being on Disney Plus because Disney Plus is such a worldwide service in so many countries. It will help the Orville easily be watched by many more people around the world. What's up, Eternity Forever? Hello, everyone. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're laying down, Rick. Oh, and Michael Mitchell picked up on it too. Eternity Forever says, in the States, Hulu and Disney Plus are one. Yes, if you have the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, the Orville is still available on Disney Plus. I hear some people saying that if you just have Disney Plus standalone, the Orville is now not on there anymore. Maybe their streaming license expired after, what was it, year and a half or so. But Hulu, it's still a Hulu original. Hulu is still separate. Eternity Forever. Now, personal talking the Orville and for stuff going on here. I'm at a point in my creative adventures in life where as you know, I don't have time to make edited videos anymore. I have to work too much all the time, every day. And so editing videos, which takes a long time, I don't have time for. So we're kind of doing the live show thing. I'm trying to provide as much support for the Orville on Twitter link in the description below. But I'm also in the process of writing the Orville fan film, which will be produced by Aries Studios. Whenever I finish it, I'll finish the script, and then I'm sure we'll go into the having meetings and then rewrites and different people having their say, and we're putting it all together. So right now I'm in the outline process. I already got a one sheet and a character list. I can't tell you much about the story because it's a special thing, but I can say we have a new ship, a new crew. I'm working on doing a new class of ship, and I can say it will be a cultural contamination storyline. I'm very excited. I've been putting it together in my head. Now I'm putting it onto the outline, and then once I get the outline done and then redone, then it's time to write the script. But because I've been in my spare time, which is almost nil, last night my spare time was at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep last night. I've been studying screenwriting and writing. So I have a couple things in mind. If you make an outline, most writers agree with this, not all, but most, because everybody's brain is different. If you make a really great outline, it makes it very easy to write the script because you've got it all worked out. You just have to fill in the blanks after that. But another thing I'm working on is union stories, where I want to write some short stories to flesh out the Orville universe. I don't think I'll be creating anything that will be contradicted by Orville canon, even Orville canon that comes up in future seasons. Hopefully we get a couple decades of seasons. So I'm working on some short stories that will be sent out to the Patreon page. I'm hoping to have the first one done in a few weeks. I just have to get that started, but I think that'll be great practice to write some short stories so that that'll help me get into the mindset of writing an actual, script, which I'm hoping will be maybe a full episode length. But it's going to be very interesting, you guys. What's up? The Smoke 007. Hey, bro, I can't wait to see it. Me either. I can't wait to see the finished script so that I can start working on revision 2 of the script. Thanks, Smoke. The only thing that's holding me back is time. I don't have very much time right now with the channel demonetized. I'm hoping to have the channel remonetized on June 23rd, the day after my birthday. That's when YouTube allows me to reapply. Thanks a lot, YouTube. And then content creation will go into an entire new phase 4, I call it. For talking the Orville. So Smoke says, I totally know what you mean. DC says, your fan film is bound to be great. Can't wait. I hope so. That's the goal. I mean, I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. I just want to get the entire story put together in order on the outline. And then it's a very different type of script format. So I'm going to be trying to figure that out as well. But it's going to be more adventures in the Orville universe, in the Union universe. And I got some great ideas for people who I would like to cast. Hopefully a handful of people that you know who they are. I can't go any deeper into it than that at this moment. But eventually... I'm going to put together a description that's completely spoiler free, you're unable to predict what the story is or anything like that or figure it out, but it will be able to be shared with you guys. Movie Mouse says, same in Canada. We can see all 3 seasons of the Orville on Disney Plus. Yeah, I currently do not have Disney Plus, so I'm unable to check it out. But some of you checked it out. Some of you still have the Orville. Some of you don't. I don't know if, from what I hear, it's a bundle package that you have to have. I don't know, but it's still on some Disney Plus. but it's on all of Hulu, but Hulu is only in the US of A at the moment. What's up, Dan Binks? We said going home. Pyrex says, will it be a pre-FTL culture already seen in the Orville, or a new, entirely undiscovered pre-FTL culture? It will be a culture that has been discovered already. I believe I can say that. Sugar Dino Rex, hey, I hope you are all doing well. Honestly, Orville is my top 3 favorite shows. That is great to hear. So many people absolutely love the Orville, have been just holding on to this littlest shred of hope that there might possibly be more. And now we know that there will be more Orville. Thank you, Seth MacFarlane, not only for creating the show, but giving us a little update of what's going on in your head. And you know, a lot of people, like I said before, oh, he's working on other stuff. The Orville's dead. No, he's working on other stuff so he can do the Orville. That's what it takes in the industry. I've known that. I've known that for a long time, for decades. A lot of interviews that I've watched over the years, that has come up many times. So I'm glad he was able to reiterate that sentiment in the Mike Henry podcast interview. Pyrex says, I would marry the Orville and have its babies if I could. Dan Binks, yes, love the Orville. Carol Ann Roberts, what's going on? Yay! More Orville. I get it. That's right. The Smoke 007 says, I can't wait. Wait, let me get my mouse working. I can't wait till the RPG event next week. Yes, next week will be episode 1 of Tales of the Union, the Orville RPG game that we're playing. We have 5 players. Woody, of course, is the game master, so he'll be guiding us and through the story, and the story will evolve depending on how we play, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've never done anything like this, so I'm going to be relying on you guys to help me out during the gameplay, and you will be asked recommendations, and you'll be asked for help. And I guess whoever has the best recommendation wins, or the recommendations that triggers excitement in my brain. Sugar Dino Rex, LOL. My fiance Carson said, can I have a job on Orville? I don't know. You have to apply. I don't know where to apply. I'm trying to just give myself Orville jobs. Talking the Orville was me giving myself an Orville job. Writing the, well, I was asked to do it by Aries Studios, but writing the Orville fan film is basically me giving myself a job. I mean, it's not really a paying job. It's a passion job. I don't have the ability to have a paying job when it comes to content creation, but I can get stuff done. I care about being creative more than I care about making money on the internet, I guess I have to say, because it's more rewarding if you're just doing it for the passion of it, I find. But yes, next week, Saturday the 27th at noon Pacific Standard Time, we will be right here and on Twitch streaming our gameplay, episode 1, Tales of the Union, the Orville RPG game. I got my dice ready, and I've never played anything like this. I'm more of a Mario Golf kind of guy. Dan says, what race would you play in an Orville RPG? Oh, I am playing a Retepsian pilot named Jay Pulio, and I'm a really badass pilot. That I know. Our last stream a couple weeks ago, session 0, we were all creating our characters. More so, I was creating my character and getting all my stats and rolling for this and rolling for that and filling out the character sheets. But we're actually going to go into the adventure, into the campaign next week. DEC says, I know what you mean about that there are too many streaming services, JP. However, I do wish we had more of them in the UK. Great Britain. I follow them globally. Oh, yeah. Over here in the US of A, we have all the streaming services and then some, including BritBox. I wish I could afford BritBox. Well, I wish I had time to watch things on BritBox. Yeah, Jay Puglia, that's me. Yeah, it's always been a joke on this channel, and I started this idea with Lex Kassar, who is one of the artists for the Orville. Also, I believe he's the son of John Kassar, one of the executive producers and directors of the Orville. I did an interview with him years ago after season 1 of the Orville. And we were talking about me being a Retepsian on the show, but I keep my beard. So I'll be a blue Retepsian with a beard, which would be a lot of fun. Would a Retepsian's beard also be blue? I think it would. Ooh, Pyrex says, any chance an audience member can win a spot as a minor NPC in the Orville RPG adventure? That I don't know. Possibly. I don't know much about how these games work. I'll know a lot more next week. And I guess we'll see how it goes. And we'll talk to Woody because he's the game master who created all of this. And we'll be, game mastering the game. We'll see what he says. He'll know more if it's possible or not. Hey, Stony Girl, get back to work. It's good seeing you. And I'm glad you were able to join us for a little bit. Always good to see you. C14 Audio I says Ed and Talia's daughter Anaya is still, I'll put it on the screen, is still in hiding in season 4. I would assume that in season 4 she's still hiding. I'm assuming she'll be a little bit older, and I don't know how fast a krill human hybrid ages. I don't even know how fast a krill ages. I assume she'll still be in hiding, and one of the storylines would be we have to find out how to save her. We have to get her out of there. I mean, she doesn't know any better, but I'm sure eventually she'll get to an age where she wants to get out and break free and be an individual and this and that, and finally make it back to her actual father, who she only met that one time. Yeah, I would love to see Anaya get saved. Gently Falling Rain. Do you think Seth would ever do a one-shot Orville animated movie? Well, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibilities, but I don't think he's thinking about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he has such a big animated background that he's been trying to move past as far as doing some live action stuff. I don't know if he would want to be known for doing an Orville animated movie. But he's definitely into the comics. The Orville, of course, has a great comic series. How many episodes did they do? Did they do 8? I want to say 8, but I don't know for sure. I'm hoping we get more of those. I love the Orville comics. Actually, hint, I've been going through the Orville comics again to see what inspiration I can get for the Orville Fandom script. And I found some inspiration, but I'm sure there's some more there that can be incorporated. Ryan Lindner says, is the Orville renewed? I don't think it's officially been announced as that it's been renewed, but Seth said there will be more. He's basically doing these other projects right now so that he's basically paying his dues so that he can do another season of the Orville, which is very common in Hollywood. You have to do one for them, the studios, and then you get to do one for you. Well, probably at his level, it's 1 and 1. At the lower levels, it might be you have to do 2 or 3 so you can get 1. Now, the Orville is huge, so I think Seth is doing 2 or 3 so he can get a huge budget for season 4 of the Orville, because that's what it takes to make a proper season of the Orville. Or an episode where the crew goes into a cartoon universe. I don't know. It would be up to him, but I think it would be possible to have an environmental simulator storyline in the show where Gordon has an adventure and there's cartoons involved. That sounds like something Gordon would do. Kind of like a la Roger Rabbit. Dan Bing says, I would like to see a Family Guy spoof of the Orville like they did with Star Wars. Something, something, something dark side. That would be fun. That would get all the boons for me. Also, what I mentioned doing some Orville, me personally writing some Orville short stories that I'll be putting on my Patreon page, and not just the writing. I have some other plans for it as well. I already have the idea for the first one I'm formulating in my head. I'm going to write an outline for that as well to help me get into the mode to writing a script, but this will be short story form. It's called a hell of a lot of squash, or a lot of damn squash. You probably figure out what that's about. Kind of. But that'll be coming to Patreon, hopefully within the coming months. CI for 44, I said audio, but there's actually a 4 for the A, but it probably represents audio, right? For audio. Krill Supreme Chancellor Talea is in custody with the Planetary Union. Do you think Talia will work for the Union like a spy? I don't know. I think, if she's a Krill coward, she might. This was not the first time that Talia has been in custody at the Union. She was taken into custody in episode 6, season 1, the episode Krill, and she escaped. She was in prison for a while. And then if you read the Orville comics, you'll learn how she escaped from the Union by basically brainwashing some scientists into believing into Avis. That didn't sound right. Believing in Avis, the teachings of Avis. I think that episode, that comic issue, is called "The Word of Avis." Of course, you got part 1 and part 2. All the Orville comics were part 1 and part 2 stories. I think she might be too far gone. We'd have to bring her back to reality. She's kind of on a power trip and has gone way deep into the teachings of bad guy Avis. I don't know if there is a good guy Avis. I don't know if she's redeemable at this point after everything she did in season 3. Season 2, Talia, I think it would have been redeemable, but after season 3, I think she's too far gone. But that doesn't mean I don't want to see her again and see what kind of mischief she has under her sleeve. Thanks, Chris. Chris says, always good to see the #1 ambassador for the Orville. Sugar Plum says, Hertz is the enemy of Avis. But does Hertz try harder? Avis does. Curtis Tay says, Talia should have her own show. Man, I think Talia thinks she does have her own show. She doesn't, but I think she thinks she does. Coming over from Twitch, being a female Krill leader might be difficult with the Mocklins. Yes, there is that. We saw there was a little, the Mocklins were assuming they were going to be in charge because they're the males, and that they're not going to listen to a female at all. But of course they did. But how long is that going to last? How long is that going to sit with Mocklin culture, which is deeply instilled in most of these Mocklins? Pyric asks, did Kelly cheat? Or is Derulio technically a sex offender because she was under the influence of his pheromones and therefore could not consent? I'm with the Derulio as an offender, but in his culture, they probably don't consider it that. Different cultures, you guys, what you gonna do? But yes, she was probably under. Derulio said, yeah, he thinks he was in heat. So that leaves it kind of open. Maybe he wasn't, and Kelly did cheat, but it does leave it open to say probably she was under the influence of pheromones and she was unhappy. So it's probably easier to get into that situation, but almost impossible to get out of the situation once those pheromones kicked in. So yes, that's the moral dilemma that we were left with in the Derulio situation. I would also love to see Derulio in season 4. And I want a lot more Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan is a fan favorite. We didn't get enough Lieutenant Dan in season 3, so let's Dan it up a little bit. Ryan Linder. Any YouTube advice? I feel like I can't get motivated to get on camera. Oh, I get it. I hate being on camera. I don't mind doing the live shows, but actually filming something with the camera pointed at me and I got to say the things I got to say, this and that, I absolutely do not feel comfortable with that. Never have. That's why a lot of my Orville content became just voiceover content. And but the only way to get comfortable with it is to loosen up, take the pressure off yourself. You got to realize it's not that important. You're just doing a fun thing and just go with it. Just practice. Practice makes okayness. I won't say perfect because what's perfect? But I think you'll feel better if you just do it. Start with live shows. Live shows will get you used to talking in front of a camera, but it'll feel a little bit better because there's actually people there and they're having a conversation with you. I love doing the live shows. But pressing record, not as much. But that's why I'm trying to go into a new phase of content creation. And that phase is promotion of the Orville and story writing and doing some voiceover work. But we got to still do a lot of live shows with the new season of the Orville upon the horizon, pun intended. I don't know how far away that horizon is. We're going to have to do a lot of live shows to unite the fandom behind the Orville, talk about it, keep the excitement rolling. We're going to be doing that a lot. I think phase 4 of Talking the Orville is going to be us together, doing this together. I've decided trying to make an income on the internet is not something I necessarily care about anymore, but getting together and having a place for us to talk about the things that we like to talk about, that is important to me. So that I think is going to be phase 4 of Talking the Orville, getting together and talking about things that we love, and we all love the Orville. So we'll start off from there as a was it a jumping board, springboard, and then we'll move on to all the other things that we like. Any plans to go on the Critical Drinker? I don't have any plans to go anywhere or go on anything right now. And actually, I'm not a very good guest for a lot of the shows that would want me to be a guest because I am personally, for personal reasons, boycotting all big IPs for the year 2024. Not because I'm mad at them or this sucks or that sucks. No, nothing like that, because my mind doesn't work that way. I just realized I've been missing out on a lot of smaller productions. There's a lot of shows out there, and I've been having to watch just the biggest and best blockbusters, which can be fun. but there's so many smaller series and shows and movies that just deal with the human condition, which has always been a passion of mine. How people are and what do people do in certain situations. That I'm decided to take a break from the big IPs that have been putting out so much content over the decades. Give it over to some smaller guys for 1 year and see what happens to my brain and my passion for original content. Speaking of which, I just finished watching Blackbird on Apple TV. It's a small story about a prison where one prisoner was sent to the prison in order to spy on this other prisoner and get a confession of these murders. So good. Absolutely loved it. An acquaintance from the film told me to check it out, and I did, and I absolutely loved it. I was so happy to see a smaller story. No explosions or spaceships or anything. Just people doing people stuff. So I'm going to do that for 1 year, and then I'll be back to all the big stuff in 2025, which I think will be just right, because I think I think in 2025 there'll be a lot more big stuff that's more apropos to this channel in 2025. No, have you seen the YouTube channel called Dust? I have not. Sugar Plum. I love saying sugar plum. Sugar plum. Ryan Lindner says, did you see Silo? No, I didn't, but I know it's on Apple TV, and it is on my, what do they call it on Apple TV? Your next up, something like that. Whatever your list of things you want to watch, it's on my list, because that's one of the things I do want to watch. I am currently watching, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just catching an episode here or there, but I'm watching The Big Door Prize, which is a great kind of I don't want to say science fiction because it's not really, but it kind of has that feel of that episode, that Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner, the one where they're stuck in this diner and they keep using this machine to pull out fortune cards, and they keep letting the fortunes, the ambiguity of the fortunes, dictate their actions. So they keep not leaving the diner because they think if they leave the diner, something bad's going to happen. It's kind of like that in a way, but more fun, more quirky, small town type of show, which is also something I've always been into, small quirky towns and the people that live within those towns. So The Big Door Prize, totally enjoying it. It's not like, oh God, I got to watch the next episode type of thing. It's just something I catch every once in a while. I recommend that, but Silo is on my list. Silo is the best, Ryan says. Sugar Plum says, Dust is small indie sci-fi videos, even some audio shows. That is interesting to me, because I'm kind of wanting to get into audio shows. That's kind of what my next adventure is going to be. Let me press some buttons here, do a little work on the StreamYards here so I get caught up. Barry, hey JP, could your followers write YouTube to tell them monetize you something like a fax bomb? No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. But also, I'm fine with not being monetized right now, because it's made me face some hard truths about trying to be a YouTuber. It's things that I've been kind of avoiding for years now, but it's forcing me to change directions a little bit and explore some other ways to be creative. And I'm kind of glad, but I'm kind of glad about that. And I can focus on just the community right now. And growing the channel. Now, here's the thing. Even though I'm not monetized right now, but I should be monetized again June 23rd. That's the hope. June 23rd. But, okay, I lost my train of thought. The channel is growing. I am at like 92,000 subscribers right now, because what I've been doing is, since it doesn't matter, I've been doing Orville shorts to help promote the Orville fandom, so that when season 4 hits, it will be huge. so that renewing the Orville will be a no-brainer for any of these studios, because the audience is growing and growing and growing. But because of that, I'm almost at 92,000 subscribers. I'm thinking by the time June 23rd comes around, I'll probably be at 110, 120,000 subscribers. And that's when I do the huge shift. I delete all shorts and go into completely original Talking the Orville content. But I'll have 120,000 subscribers, at least for a little while, before they say, hey, where's all the shorts? I'm going to unsubscribe. But I'll unsubscribe, but I'll still have a lot more subscribers than I had when this whole debacle started. So right now I'm in building mode and figuring out my path mode. And I should be there. I should know exactly what that path is by the time June 23rd comes. So I appreciate the thought of having a write-in campaign or a texting campaign, but it would do nothing except for make them mad, and I don't need it right now. I think this has been a good thing for me. I think it's going to really help me get back to making the content that I want to make, and be a little more human with it. I like being human. So as we know, Sugar Plum says, check out Dust on YouTube. Ryan says, check out Silo. Silo is the best. Sugar also says, JP, I am totally Poe, but let me just say that I would watch ads for you. Thank you very much. I'm Poe too. I'd watch ads for you. But if you want to help me keep the lights on, there is a PayPal and Patreon links in the description below. Anything helps keep the lights on, because the lights are dimming a little bit. I hope they'll still be on by the time June 23rd gets here. Sugar Plum, may the shorts be with you. I love that. Keep using that. Apply that term to shorts. You came up with it. So apply that term to shorts, and maybe that'll work out for you. Maybe it'll be the person that helps shorts be successful on YouTube. Oh, thank you very much. That deserves some screen time right there. Give him all your money, you will find him funny. But let's be clear, I don't need all your money. Maybe just half. This is a 50-50 arrangement here. Talking the Orville is for all of us to contribute. And actually, I do want to figure out ways that the audience can contribute content to the Talking the Orville community. I don't know what that means yet, but I want you guys to be able to showcase your stuff. Any writers out there? I thought about this last night. Wouldn't it be great to have a one-stop, not shop, but one-stop place where people can see your Orville short stories? I know a lot of you are making fan fiction, pictures, thumbnails, memes, all this stuff. It'd be great to have one spot where people can contribute their work and people can see you, see what the work you are doing, all in one spot, instead of having to go all over the internet. I love that spot to be EGOTASTICFUNTIME.com, but EGOTASTICFUNTIME.com is down right now. The renewal came up to renew it for another year. I couldn't afford it, so I just had to let it go until I am able to afford it someday, maybe hopefully by the end of the year. But that is another thing on my list that I wish to accomplish, is get EGOTASTICFUNTIME.com back, and then really use it to for us to see what we can do with it. Dan Binks, give them all your money is the best intro on YouTube. You know what? When I came up with that all those years ago, that's the EGOTASTIC FUNTIME theme song. That I still feel is the best thing I ever made. And it's just a little outro music. That's all it is. And I still think it's better than any video I've ever made. Because that's the thing people always talk about. And I'm like, wow, I just came up at the top of my head. I put on the background music and I sang it once. I'm like, done, that's good. DEC says, it's great that gaining subscribers. Do you prefer YouTube now that you've quit it? I don't know. I don't prefer YouTube at all. But I prefer having a spot to get together with you guys and express myself. The subscribers, I'm happy about the subscribers because the more subscribers I get, the more I can share the Orville with those subscribers. For me, I decided this a year or two ago. The most important thing to me is gaining the Orville a bigger and bigger and bigger audience. So that's my the thing. I withered down everything that being on the internet could be about. And I said, all I want is this one thing. It's kind of like writing a script and you narrow it down to one little thing that it's really about. The simpler, the better. So what it's come up to for me is just keep the Orville afloat until we get more episodes of the show. And then once those episodes are done, we'll keep it going even more. By the time I'm finished, which hopefully will be years and years from now, the Orville will have the biggest audience out there. It'll be the #1 platform. It'll be hard. It's going to be hard to compete with Star Wars. People like Star Wars, but I think after some time, we can get there. It'd be the passioniest project of all passion projects. We do. I mean, I have plenty of original Orville merch that I've made. Check the links in the description below. EGOTASTIC tees, but official Orville merch. There's a bunch out there, but not nearly enough. And for me, I want more shirts, and I want action figures, not little figurines. Figurines are great, but I want action figures with opposable limbs and maybe even some statuette type stuff. That's right. Dr. Bob Tesla, 6 seasons in a movie. A little community reference there. Let's get the Orville 6. Oh, I don't even want 6 seasons. I want 6 decades of the Orville universe coming to us. I mean, of course, it won't be the original. It won't be the Orville anymore. It'll be other ships. Star Trek has done it. Why can't the Orville do it? Barry, I see you change the back wall. Now take the vertical picture and put it horizontal and put Avis above it. You know, I am making changes actually starting tomorrow. This weekend is the official weekend. I've been trying to do this forever, but it's so daunting. I have moved my desk. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't tell because I zoomed in the camera a little bit, but this desk used to be about 3 feet this way, and I moved it all the way up against the wall. And so because I put this table here, because since we're going to be doing the Orville RPG, I need more table space. So the next time you see this stream, I'll have everything hooked up so it has an easy flow. I'll have the camera pulled back more so you can see a little bit more of the room, and I will have more room to rearrange the stuff on the walls. We will be getting that. We will be getting the Orville crew turned horizontal. I'll be moving stuff around. I also have some other things that you can't see right now that's in a closet somewhere that I'll be putting up as well. Some cool Orville stuff, you guys. I have a 3D model ship. I have the World of the Orville signed by Seth MacFarlane himself. I have some. I have a 3D printed hand blaster, energy weapon. I have the Orville, the up and down arrow badge. Actually, do I have that here? It might be in a box. No, it's in a box somewhere. I'll find that. I'll get everything out, you guys, and we will decorate it because the Orville RPG is starting up, and I want to have a really cool live stream room for that game. But also, I really wanted this table here so that I can roll dice and put my RPG book and everything right there. Also, I think there's a link in the description if you want the character breakdowns of all the different races and disciplines and stuff like that for the Orville RPG. It's available right now on the Patreon page. and it's downloadable, so you can download it. Actually, I think there's also an update. I'm going to upload a new file, so you might want to wait. And thanks for reminding me. Well, I reminded myself to update that file, but it was because of the conversation you guys let us down. What is Alara's last name? Sugar Plums asks. Alara's last name is Kitan, Kitan. And of course, she has her father, Ildis Kitan. What's her mother's name? I am blanking on her mother's name. It looks like female Salayans. Did I not say Salayans? Female Salayans, their names end with like a vowel. And male Salayans, their names end with is or dis. Like was Ildis. Oh, what was John Billingsley's character's last name, or first name, I should say. But all the male characters end with like IS or DIS. It's very interesting that they came up with that. May the Orville be with you, says Pyric. That's the plan. All I want to do is help the Orville be with all of us. And over the last a year and a half, people, or a year basically, people are saying, why do you keep talking about the Orville? It's done. And I knew that it wasn't done because I was told on the phone that it wasn't done, but it's going to be, things got to happen before it can come back. So I was like, well, I don't want to be the guy saying, oh, it's coming back and then not have any evidence of that for a long time, because I know how the internet is. And so I said, I'll just keep the torch lit. So I've just been trying to keep the torch lit. And now we know it was all worth it, because Seth MacFarlane himself says there will be more. There will be moreville. DEC says JP has his own admiral office. Did I say that right? Or did you mean admiral office? I don't know. Admiral might be a word. Jeff B says, Hello to JP, Alara, a.k.a. a kitten. Alara, a kitten. Will we see Alara again in season 4? I'm a big Tala fan, but we all love Alara. She a great character with a great little story. Eventually, they gave her a great story in the last episode that she was officially in. That was about her, the episode Home, season 2, episode 3. Remember when I broke that she was leaving the show and no one believed me, and then she totally did leave the show? I remember those days. I try not to be that guy anymore. I try not to be that, I have a, this is something I decided years ago, probably halfway into my YouTube adventures. I said, I don't want to be I have a source guy anymore. I just want to talk about the things that we know and just keep the enjoyment of the show going and not get into all the conspiracy stuff, even though if I know something's true or not. So I stopped doing that. But I think that was my last thing that I did in that whole, my sources say, was that Alara was leaving, and no one believed me. But then when they found out I was right, everyone's like, oh my God, JP knows, oh my Avis. But no, I'm trying to do the more fan guide at this point. Pepperidge Farm remembers. What's up, Vendetta Wild? Good to see you. T. Stoney says, I think Alara will make appearances at the end of each season. It's become a tradition. It really has, hasn't it? I've always said this. We've talked about it many times. I still want to see Alara and Tala team up for a mission. I think by the time we see Alara again, a lot of her issues with losing her strength and all that will be fixed and worked out. She'll be able to leave Saleya a little bit more often and be in good shape. And there might be something that we need her help on, or maybe she needs our help with something. Right now, Alara is basically a security training guru. She's I don't know, training people to be tough guys. I don't know what she's doing, something like that. So maybe she needs our help with something. Maybe there's maybe her dad is abducted and she needs our help to save him or something. That sounds like a small, too simple of a story, but we'll see what happens. But it would be nice. I really don't need Alara to be in a part of the crew again because, like I said, I'm a Tala person, but I would like to see her every once in a while. She's important to us. She's important to the Orville. She's important to the crew. Yeah, I tried keeping up with it. Let's put this on the screen. Orville Nation, PJ says, so many people say shiz about the Orville. Would be hard to keep up with anyway. I've tried to keep up with it. I tried. I've been successful at some points, but there's too much. And it's not that there's any truth or knowledge or anything. It's just there's people of the internet, just like there's people of Walmart, people of the internet, that's all they got. They want to be noticed so bad. That's all they got is to make up shiz or latch onto something and make assumptions and then put it on the internet where it'll be forever. And you can't keep up with it. Because if you're just one person, there's a lot more people on the internet than just you. So I'm like, I'm just going to talk about the positive stuff. And if people want to believe stuff that's not true, all you can do is say it's not true and just say what is true. And if people want to believe what is true, that's great. If they don't, oh well. Just forget about it and move on. Just keep speaking. I'll keep speaking my truth. Vendetta Wild says, I could see an Alara spinoff show. I could see an almost any character spinoff show. Wouldn't a Gordon spinoff show be great? Gordon going off to try to become a captain. Basically, Gordon going back to school at an older age. That sounds like a show right there. T. Stoney, Alara is helping beef up Saleya in times of war and uncertainty. Sounds like a planet of academics and artists needed it. Yeah, that's true. Saleya, as great as they are, the one thing that protects Saleya and why there's not a big, huge military presence there is their gravity. Most other species just cannot handle it. They can't go there. They can't do it. It's too hard. They're going to need too many anti-gravity suits to not get crushed. So Saleya is kind of protected, but they can always be attacked from space. That's what the Kaylon were trying to do in season 3. And the Union came to their rescue with that really awesome maneuver they did where all the ships were tightly packed together, ready to just split everything. And then they let off that new type of basically bomb that they came up with that really just destroyed the Kaylon at that moment. And that's how we were able to, the Orville all by itself was able to fly over to Kaylon with this weapon and say, don't mess with us, fool. Just this one ship. We got this one weapon and it's messing you up, dudes. And that's what made the Kaylon start listening to us. And then now I think the Kaylon, even though the Kaylon are our allies, they said it was a temporary thing until they figure out how to overtake the weapon. I think with the sacrifice that Charlie put forth in the episode Domino, the Kaylon really are like, there's something to these humans that we didn't think about. Yeah, because humans ain't dumb biological Kaylons. We better than that. And so I think the Kaylon are really our friends now. I don't think it's a trepid situation at all. Yeah, they do it for clicks and just to be noticed. I mean, we all want to be seen by somebody. I want to be seen by people, but just not as badly as I used to want to be seen by people. Now I don't care as much. I just want to make something that is worth showing writing a script, writing a story, putting out an audio adventure, things like that. I don't care about personal glory. I just want to make something good. But it took me a long time to get to that point, and I think I just only started getting to that point in the last year or two. What's up, Archmage Free? Last Call says, we see you, JP. Thanks. I don't always like being seen. That's why I like doing voiceover stuff. But I don't mind it during live shows. It's the press record. I am still, I wouldn't say terrified, but hesitant to press record. But that's a me thing. Paul D says, I agree, JP. The Kalon are solid allies now. They are totally solid. They're not watery. They're solid. Oh, real quick, since you're here, PJ, Orville Nation, you are able to join us on the 27th? Give me a yay or a nay. And you've been working with Woody on creating your character, right? Is there anything you could tell us about your character? Let us know, because I don't know yet. I was going to find out next week. But I like spoilers sometimes. Barry, what's up? Barry says, hey, sorry I am late. Just punched out of work and can't stay long. We'll watch full video after it's over. Thank you so much. So you're a little bit here live now, but you'll be with us for the post show, which is great. A lot of people watch the post show. Barry says they might be more of a gas. Yeah, the Kalons, are they gas, a liquid, or a solid? I say solid. I wouldn't want to run into a gassy Kalon. Sugar Dino Rex, what's going on? Could you do a shout out to us? LOL, sorry. We're nerds. Carson Kemp and Colette Hamelin. Let's put it on screen. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm pretty good with a lot of words, but not 100% words. I'm more of an 86% saying words correctly type of guy. Orville Nation, PJ says, still working on it, working on his character for the RPG next week, but I won't be a sex crazed Retepsian like JP, LOL. Yeah, that's me. I got my pheromones set to stunning. DEC says, as South Park said, the people who have nothing better to do than spreading negativity online have absolutely no lives. South Park sometimes are just spitting the truth. No, they have lives, but their lives probably just do not lead to having, a positive mindset. One thing I've noticed, okay, so as you guys know, I've been doing ride shares to try to, it's so tough, you guys, and it's always just barely making it. Help keep the lights on here, help keep the roof over the head and all that stuff and the electricity on. Been doing the ride shares. It took me a while to start doing ride shares, and it takes a lot of people a while, if at all, to do ride shares because, they'll do the food delivery because they're like, oh, I don't have to talk to anybody except for pick up some food and drop it off at someone's door. I can do that, but I don't want to give rides because I don't want to talk to strangers and people all day. I was the same way. And then I started doing it. And after a while, I realized, hey, in real life, people are just people. They're not internet people. People on the internet, the same people, are usually very nice people in real life, even though you give them that anonymity of on the internet and things change a little bit, but not in real life. So I kind of like picking up strangers because you get to learn about people And I just always have had one of those faces, I guess, where people just want to tell me about their lives, the ups and the downs and all that stuff. And so we've been having some great conversations, learning about people. And I'm like, hey, this is actually kind of nice. And it's kind of reignited my faith in humanity. But over the last, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years on the internet, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I don't want to people. I don't want to talk to strangers. I don't want to do this and that. And I wonder, is that a result of how people are on the internet? You see, there's a lot of great people on the internet, of course, but there's so much just garbage being spewed by the worst side of people on the internet. And I wonder if that's gotten to us, to everyone really, where we're just thinking everybody's like that in real life because we hardly live real lives anymore. We're on the internet so much. I am wondering if that has been the case, kind of like when It came out and now everyone's afraid of clowns. I wonder if that's been where this sentiment is coming from. It's like, I don't want to deal with people. And people turn out to be pretty dang great. I'm actually really great with middle-aged, well, not even middle-aged, older women. We have great conversations and we laugh and we have fun. And then I drop them off, say, hey, have a great day. And a lot of people thank me for the conversation before they leave. It's all about not being weird. But I do wonder if that hesitation to people comes from how people act on the internet. I'm thinking it might. Chris says, that was awesome to hear. There will be more. What's your educated guess when we'll hear an official announcement? Well, I think it's getting closer much more quickly to get an official announcement because Seth allowed himself to reveal that there will be more. And these other projects that he's doing is basically in service of us getting more Orville. He's giving the studios what they want so that they'll give him what he wants, which is another season of the Orville, hopefully multiple seasons of the Orville. I think we're getting closer and closer because he's not going to say that so that we then have to wait forever. I think they're probably getting ready to announce it, but I have no idea how long it'll be. I thought they were going to announce it after the strikes were over because I was told that's what they were waiting for. And so that's what I was telling everyone else. They're waiting for the strikes to be over. Then the strikes were over and they didn't really say anything. But now they are saying something. And Seth said it, which is the biggest clue that it's coming soon. But I don't know how soon is. Because I do remember when Seth was hesitant to even be on social media at all. And the Orville cast and crew are the ones that finally got him to bite the bullet and start doing social media. So he's very hesitant to give information like that too soon. So the fact that he's saying it now means that it's coming. I just don't know how soon that is. Hollywood timelines, the very famous phrase when it comes to Hollywood productions is hurry up and wait. So I'm sure we'll still have to wait way longer than we want to wait. But for a Hollywood timeline, it's probably very soon that they'll be making an announcement of some sort. And I predict it'll still be on Hulu and eventually be a multi-cast, multi-streamed with Disney because Disney wants a piece of it as well. And Disney, I know, is very, very excited for new original science fiction content. And you don't get it any better than the Orville when it comes to new original science fiction content. Thanks, PJ. PJ says, excellent points, JP, on people's fears. Well, that's what we all are. We all have fears. It's in our DNA. It's in our lineage. It's in our evolution to have fears. It's how we've stayed alive, is with our fears. We have to always be ready for that lion coming around the corner, So it's just in us. But we've also evolved to apply that fear to anything, almost anything. When the prices of eggs were too high, people were afraid they were never going to be able to eat eggs again. But of course, I knew we'd have eggs again. I knew they'd be affordable again. but you have to make the choice to say no to your fears, because they're always there. No matter what happens, there's always going to be a little voice in the back of your mind telling you how things might go bad. And I see it all the time with things people say on the internet. A lot of things I see on the internet is people afraid of something. Even when they're saying, oh, this isn't going to happen. That's just the fear in the back of their head telling them it's not going to happen. And they believe it. But that's humanity. Pyrex, same. Pyrex says, my greatest fear is a world without the Orville. Because one thing I know, because, the Orville's utopian. I mean, horrible stuff, devastating stuff happens on the Orville, but overall, it always has that underlying element of not only humanity, but utopia. Things are good. Things are mostly good in the world. I don't think we're ever going to have a world like that, because humans, I don't know if humans aren't ready for that. We don't have that in us yet. But my fear is not having the Orville, because the Orville is showing us how things could have been, even though it takes place in the future. A future I don't think we'll ever have. I think we're going to have the Expanse will be the future of humanity. But the Orville shows us how it could have been if we just moved away from our fears and just worked to make everything better. Because when we all do better, we all do better. That's what the Orville is to me. And that's why I always hold, I give the Orville a little bit more importance than a lot of viewers give it. They just think it's a great show. I'm like, no, actually, I think it's not just a great show, but it has an important message, an important feel to it, an important vibe. It's teaching us something I don't think we'll ever achieve, but the lesson was taught. Yeah, Archmage says, so what you're saying is you don't think we're ready for the jelly? No, I don't. I think we're going to be stuck on peanut butter on dry toast for many, many years to come. But at least we have a little bit of an escape to know how it should be, how it could have been. Chris says, prior to a new season, it'd be great to do a deep dive on each episode, bringing it down and discussing it. Since this is the go-to Orville channel, I'd love it if you did that here. You know what? Yes, I won't. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do like those hardcore editing breakdowns that I used to do, but discussions. I think the future of Talking the Orville, even though it'll always have a variety of things and stuff that I'll put out when and if I have the time, discussions, the fandom coming together, I think is the big goal for season 4. So I could probably do an episode comes out, I'll write down some beats and some points, and then, a list of them, and then we'll do a live show, and I'll just go down the list and we'll talk about them one at a time together. Together forever. Secret Agent Bart Fargo says, it teaches us how to be better people. Exactly. Yet we are still people. What people could be, yet still remain keep their humanity. We can be better people who still write penises on the main viewer screen of Outpost 180, or was it T80? I can't remember. So if you like drawing penises on things, you can still do that, but you'll still be a better person at the same time. Orville Nation, we will achieve it, or better even. Me, I plan on being in breadlines. I think that's what old age is. I don't see any way out of it right now, but maybe something will happen in a few years where I'm like, oh, maybe there is some hope. DEC says, when you do Uber rides, you could call your cab the SS Uberville. Hopefully you wouldn't get sued by Disney and the Orville. Seth will have your back. Yeah, I'd be totally fine. I already call it the ECV 197. But I also call it the EGOTASTIC mobile, or the Ego mobile. Which reminds me, when I find time, I need to do some car time videos for the EGOTASTIC FUNTIME channel, but it's hard to find time. And usually when I do find time, it's dark outside, and that's not a good time to do car time videos when it's dark. The lighting is horrible. I tried it once or twice. It looks just horrible. There you go, last call. Come together right now over me. Barry says, wouldn't it be nice if the Orville ran an NCIS 21 seasons or a Supernatural 78 seasons? Supernatural's got the seasons down. Dr. Bob Tesla, can you hug the donkey? If that donkey has been washed and cleaned, maybe. I don't want to hug a dirty donkey. Ooh, that sounds like a whole other thing. Sugar Dino Rex, thank you so much. Sugar says, it's awesome you're positive. It's a choice. I had to make the choice to be positive. It's not always easy to do, but if you make the choice, it will help a little bit in this cruel, unjust world that we live in. You also give some really good advice. Thank you. I try to think about things. When I'm driving around, all I do is think about life. I listen to music and I think about life. And then I talk to some very interesting people. Even people that I don't think are going to be interesting. Everyone's got a life and things to talk about in that life. Now, not everyone wants to talk, and I don't force anyone to talk. I always just start off by being super polite. Hey, how's it going? Good, stuff like that. And people are always nice back. And then sometimes people will just start talking, and I just give them enough to keep talking. I give them enough of myself without going too far into being overly chatty so they can keep talking. Because that's what all of us want. We want to express ourselves. We want to talk to somebody. It's a deep human need. Even if someone say, oh, I don't want to talk to nobody. Deep inside, there's something inside you that does. Someone peeked behind me. Oh, that must be my wife. She peeks in sometimes. Now I'm picturing her in my mind, peeking her head in real quick, and now I'm laughing. Curtis Tay says, I would like to be more positive, but nah. Maybe being less positive is your positivity. It fulfills a need. Everything we are and we do is for some reason, something we've thought about or done or been through in our lives. Oh, that is such a funny idea, Orville Nation. I got to put that up on the screen. I want to see JP showing up in season 4 doing rideshare in a shuttle. That sounds like something they probably have. I mean, there's got to be. I was just thinking yesterday, I'm like, does the 25th century have trains? There's a lot of people and they all got to get somewhere. And I don't think you can have everybody flying around, but maybe you can. There's a lot more space in the sky than there is on the roads and everyone's driving around. But do they have trains? Do they have public transit? Or does everybody get their own shuttle by themselves to fly around in? There's got to be some group. I know they have transport ships, which are basically just a bunch of people show up and they transport them to, I don't know, a planet or an outpost or a space station, something. But do they have trains? Do they have rideshare? Or is there like a shuttle bus, pun intended, that's set on automatic? because they totally have self-driving shuttles. I'm sure they got to. We pretty much have self-driving cars. They got to have self-driving shuttles. But do they have trains? And if they have trains, is it only for the reason to be like nostalgic, or does it actually have like a real modern day purpose? Is it a flying train? Is it hovering above the tracks on magnetic rails? These things need to be figured out. That's why we need more Orville. And that's why we're getting more Orville, because they got to flesh out the universe even more. J6, we would love to see a JP cameo in the show. Oh, and I would do it in a heartbeat. If they said, hey, you want to show up as a tree on a planet of tree people? Ints? Sure. Well, just be here. I'm like, you're not going to fly me out? I said, no, this is just a if you're in town type of thing. Oh, I would be finding that gas money, and I'd be driving out there, and I'd sleep in my car, whatever it takes. JP hosting a barbecue on the Orville. Would the ship allow for smoke, for barbecue smoke? Yep, Seth admitted he will produce more Orville. Now, there's a lot more people here than there was before. Do you guys want to see what Seth said? I played it at the beginning of the stream, but I can play it again. You guys want to see it again? It's only like, I don't know, a few seconds long, 30 seconds long. Let's do it. I want to see it again. Hey, Seth, do you want to do another season of the Orville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ernie and Bert.
Valerie, Bert, and Ernie?
Yeah.
Okay. Early Family Guy joke. Peter
Okay.
Griffin. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes you gotta earn.
Yeah,
the one you want.
Give them,
even
you
at
give
your
them,
stage.
Yes,
you've,
even at
you've
my
been
stage.
hugely
Even at my stage.
successful.
But it's like with like anything, the passion projects aren't always like. Look, the Orville was a passion project. I say was, but I don't really mean was, because there will be more.
Mm-hmm.
But Family Guy makes a bunch of money. Ted makes a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Love both those shows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a little bit of a balance. There are things that you give, and in return you get to make this. I mean, that was kind of how the Western worked in many ways.
There will be more. Seth said it right there, and he specifically said it about the Orville. There's more Orville coming, and some others awesome Seth projects coming up. Todd Lehman says, if the bridge can handle cigarette smoke, I'm sure the mess hall can handle barbecue smoke. Boom. You cleared that up right there. That is, I think, exactly true. You could just turn off the smoke alarm, something like that. Maybe that's what Bortus did. But you guys, it is now about 2:00. I wanted to do the stream so that we could talk about the breaking news. As Seth MacFarlane said, there will be more Orville. He's just have to make these other projects so that he can you do the projects the studios want, and the studio lets you do the project that you want. But now it is time to go back on the road so I can try to keep these lights on. If you guys want to help keep the lights on here at Talking the Orville, because I won't be remonetized until, fingers crossed, June 23rd. There are links in the description below for PayPal and Patreon. Patreon's going to have some content coming up. I'm going to be writing some stories of the Orville, short stories of the Orville for you guys, but that's going to be on Patreon, at least in the interim. I want to thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for just a great conversation. I love talking about the Orville, and I like talking about humanity, and you provided me with both, so I feel really good. And I'm going to take that good feeling, and I'm going to take it onto the road in the Ego Mobile, and hopefully spread the awesomeness, pay it forward. And I have to thank you guys for that. So I'll see you very soon. And as always, we all do better when we all do better. I'm going to say love you, bye-bye in a second, but I have to get some things queued up. All right, you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.
EGOTASTIC fun time. We're gonna have a great time. EGOTASTIC fun time. Give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.